Hi, this is Sharon Goulet from digitalnomadwannabe.com, coming live from my home in Melbourne, Australia, although actually I'm flying off to Peru tomorrow, so a lot to do today. But I'm really excited to break up all the jobs I've got to do by talking to you about whether you should start a second or more blog and what to think about when it comes to doing this. Now, I'm going to do this by talking you through my newest site and why I created it. So this is part of my newest case study. Now, my case studies are always popular and I know people like following along. This one will be a little bit different because I'm going to do it via Facebook Live. As I don't seem to get around to writing it. And I also love how interactive Facebook Live is. So I feel like we can have an actual conversation. You're welcome to ask me questions. I do ask that if you ask questions while I'm sort of in this info part, that they're relevant to what I'm talking about, and then save other questions for the end, because I'm more than happy to answer anything. I've got nothing to hide. So this live is on my page, obviously, but going forward, I plan to do them about once a month, and they'll actually be inside the DNW group. So if you're not a member of it, the Facebook group that is, make sure you join. Just go to dnwcommunity.com and that will redirect and put you straight in the group. So like I said, ask questions. It'll be my face in this live, but in later lives, I imagine I will show you, my screen. You can see my traffic, my income, etc. Like I said, I've got nothing to hide. And I think, I think some people would rather see it than just hear me say it. So you may have seen in the DNW group a week or two ago, I shared my traffic for May for my new site. It's about travel in Malaysia. It's called diveintomalaysia.com. It's going to be the focus of this case study. So the traffic in May was, I got just over 20,000 page views. I was pretty happy about that. I made like $400 or $500, so the more important part. And this site was only started in mid-October last year. I don't promote it on social or anywhere else or do any type of promotion other than just having, SEO as good as I can do it. So just about all of that traffic is from Google, and I'm really happy with how it's progressing. Now, we'll say a little bit about the update because I know it's getting talked about a lot. This is the Google update. Traffic does seem to be affected on that site. To be fair, I haven't checked this week, so maybe it's come back a bit. We can dream. It did seem to go down about 10 or 15% after the update, but because it was already on an upward trend, I'm still well and truly on track to hit 20,000 page views. And, I'm not worried because I know I'm building a great site. It'll be fine. So I don't want to talk any more about that unless you've got a question. Now, my focus on this site is a bit different to others I've started in recent years. Okay, so I think it's going to be great for the latest case study. Mostly the ones more recently, they've just been about earning enough passive income that I have money and that I can get a good price when I sell it, because that's kind of been my focus. But with this one, I'm really interested. I don't plan on selling it, and I'm going to go through why in a minute. But I really want it to be the authority on Malaysia travel. And I'm doing what I can to make this the case. So I think it'll be a much more interesting case study since, you're probably a blogger listening to me, and it'll be more directly applicable to what you want to do on your own blog. Now, before I go through this further, I do recommend you join my email list to get notified of other case study updates. And you can also download a free checklist of what to do when you're starting a new site so that you can have success faster. And you can do this at digitalnomadwannabe.com/checklist. Okay, so you just go to digitalnomadwannabe.com, then do the /checklist. So let's talk about whether you should start another site. Okay, I know many people who follow me have more than one site or they're thinking about building it. I feel like I'm either a really good influence here or a really bad one because I think it's easy to see what I'm doing and think, oh yeah, I'll have another site. And there's a lot of people in the DNW Facebook group too rocking multiple sites. Just before I go into whether I think you should start one or not, I do want to add that even with just one site, you can learn from this case study, like how I'm trying to become the authority, how I'm getting traffic, how I monetize, etc. So it's not essential to have a new site. I think for a case study, though, it's much more interesting when I start with a new site. You can see it from fresh. So when it comes to whether you should start one, I would never say no. That would be incredibly hypocritical since I seem to be addicted to it myself. However, do be really careful about taking this step. Okay, shiny object syndrome is definitely alive in blogging circles. And it's really easy to get sucked into it. Now, usually the fastest way to get traffic and income is to do a better job with your existing blog. And it's really important to separate that shiny new object syndrome or a dissatisfaction with how you're going currently with your blog, with whether it's smart to split that precious blogging time you have with another site. Now, I'm going to point out here, I can only work on growth on one site at a time. And I've been working full time for the last bit. I've stopped now, but I've just been working full time for like 2 years or something. And I have people working for me, and I can only work on growth of one site. Okay, so I think you're fooling yourself a bit if you think you can. No doubt there's someone out there who's done it. Maybe they work and they don't sleep or do anything else, but it is really hard to do that. But the biggest reason to not start a new site is if you don't have a strategy for it. I like the quote from Einstein about doing the same things and expecting different outcomes, okay, being the definition of insanity. And it's exactly the same with blogs. If one blog isn't working how you want, why would a new one be different? And if you can't 100% answer that with clarity and knowing exactly why that's the case, then you shouldn't be starting a new blog. I think a good example is when I started getting serious about blogging, I was in a tiny little Facebook group with maybe like 6, 7, 8 other bloggers. All the ones I remember that were in it are doing really well now. So that's yay, good on us. But some people in there doing really well and did well faster than me were Sam and Jason from My Tan Feed. They have a destination blog on Costa Rica. And I really nearly started a destination blog at that point because I saw how well they were doing and faster than me. And it's like I wanted to make excuses for why that wasn't me. And I made the excuse in my head that it was because they had a destination blog and that's easier than family travel. When that wasn't the reason why they were doing better than me. In hindsight, it's like they were doing better than me because they were smarter and they were clearer on their strategy and they were just doing a better job at that point, right? I was a few steps behind them. That's why they were doing better. Me starting a new destination blog with no idea how I would actually do it better, just thinking, I'll get more sponsorship and ads if it's more destination focused. That is not a clear strategy and that would not have helped me. Whereas now it's a completely different kettle of fish and I know what I need to do to have the success I want. So now is the right time, then would not have been. I did the right choice, just working it out in other ways. So 100% don't start a new blog without a clear strategy or you'll just end up where you are now, probably just way more frustrated. Now you can, if you don't know any strategies, you can copy my strategy with exact details in Build Blog Freedom Fast Track, my premium blogging course at digitalnomadwannabe.com/BBF. So you can read about how I do it all there and exactly how, because there's only so much I can describe in a Facebook Live. But there is definitely a place for more blogs, and that's when you have a clear strategy and you can see how that will meet your bigger life goals better or quicker than if you just stuck with your existing blog. And I'm hoping that the best way to describe this is maybe to talk about how I got to the point of starting this blog, this newest blog about Malaysia. Okay. So if you've been following me just even for a little bit, you might know I've got the goal to sell one site a year. Since I did a bit of a site selling spree nearly 2 years ago and realized how lucrative that was, it's really tax advantageous. And yeah, there's a lot of awesomeness in selling a site. It feels really good for me anyway. I got this goal to sell one site a year, which is great. And I would like to keep it up. However, what I've also found is it's incredibly exhausting. It's like I'm always a startup because the site I'm selling is usually my best earning one, right? And that's the money we live off. And then I sell it and I have to somehow hustle to make the money again. So it's like I'm always just starting a blog, from scratch every year. And although, I know what I'm doing, it's not that hard for me to do this, but it's still a lot of work and it's still stressful. When I sell the site, I do take into account, 6 months of that money we need to live off, and then I've got 6 months to get things up. But the reality is that once I get, that money, I don't really want to touch it for daily costs. So I put a lot of pressure on myself. And I'm really kind of over that. Around the same time I was really having clarity on this, I went to TBAX in North America last September. And it was just fabulous. I talked to a lot of fabulous people. I just felt like I learned a lot. I really enjoyed it. And one of the discussions I had, like at the pub, was with Dave from the Planet D. And he was talking about having an exit strategy, how your business should always have an exit strategy. And this is basically meaning there's a way you can exit your blogging business where you don't need to be involved anymore, but it's still bringing in, you know, the sweet cash, and you can still live off that, right? Without needing to be such a big part of its daily operations. Now, the way I'm doing things at the moment, I'll never have a business that runs without me. You know, I mean, I guess technically you could train someone to be just like me, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, that's all really hard, and I don't think that achievable. And of course, passive income too. You do keep getting the income. I have sites that are on the sidelines I'm not actively working on that do pay me money. But I think long term, I wouldn't trust a site to do that for the next 10 years if I did nothing on it. You know, I wouldn't really call that an exit strategy. I could also keep selling sites, just build up enough money that you just leave blogging altogether and you've got plenty of money. But again, I think that would be really hard and really stressful, and the overwhelm. And when I related back what I was doing now in my business to my life goals and to my reason why I started it, I realized there was a really big misalignment. And just as a side note, I think whenever you're unsure what to do with your blog and your business and building all that up, it's easy to forget to relate it back to your why, but it's just so powerful. I think in moments it can help give you clarity. And my why was never to work harder. It was definitely not to be more stressed. It was all about having that better quality life where we could have more family time and we could make decisions not based on money. So how I'm doing things at the moment, I'm really actually, in a way, I'm failing. Like, yes, my business is doing well and all of that, but, you know, it's about more than that. So it really occurred to me that I needed a site that I could do long-term with an exit strategy. I mean, of course, I've got Digital Nomad Wannabe too. I would never sell that because I think it's too hard to sell that. You need someone just like me willing to buy it. But I also, because of that, I don't see how I can exit it. So I needed something where I feel like I could have an exit strategy later and I could do it long-term and I'm going to keep enjoying it. So I started thinking about that and what I could write about. And this, I guess, is the why behind why I've started another site. So I've had a lot of experience, I guess, up to now with the different sites I've built that I've been able to learn from. And one of them was like my last case study, you know, I did the lifestyle site. And that showed me how I need to follow my passions if I want a site I'm going to keep working on, because I have no interest in it. I don't even want to look at it ever. It's not something I could keep working on indefinitely. I don't see me writing about a niche where I don't have interest as being an exit strategy for me. Also with travel, it's like I went the opposite way. You know, it was something I was really passionate about, but it kind of ruined my passion for travel. And I don't want to feel like that again. But then when I think about what am I actually passionate about and I'd want to blog about, you know, it's not like I have time for lots of passions. So it really is just working online, topics like SEO, talking to you today, and it is travel. So that sort of led me to thinking about doing a destination site. And once I started thinking about that, the choice was clear for me. It would be Malaysia. You know, I really love Malaysia. We go there a few times a year. For living in Southern Australia, it's relatively easy to get to. It's 8 hours on a low-cost carrier. So that's as convenient as it's ever going to be. I also did really well when I wrote about it before. So I could see that there was, you know, that I would be able to find keywords that I could make it work. I was confident about that. So I really got into the idea of the Malaysia site. And I really feel like I'll be able to stick around with it. I'll be able to become that authority, because I really think becoming the authority is the safest way to ensure that you'll stick around, okay, that your business will keep being successful, and to be not stressed about things like Google updates or Facebook algorithm changes or all the other things that happen all the time. Okay, if you're the authority, if you really are that go-to site, you'll be able to keep making it work. So that's sort of my why. So I hope that helps you see some reasons where, you know, starting a new site is a completely legitimate way to go, that it's not just shiny object syndrome. So what did I do once I decided it? Well, first thing I did is what I always do and just get something up to start the site, aging. So I will talk more in the next case study update, more specifically about what I did in the first 3 months. I'm just sort of going to talk overall here. So I got the site up. I got a post in each category that I came up with, so I could just start being able to do collabs. I just wanted the site to look good enough that if I did a collab for you, you wouldn't say, oh, that's not really a site, I'm not linking to you. So I avoided that, put enough content up to get around that. And then I decided I wanted to do some different SEO this time. There's been quite a few people mentioned in the D&W group that rather than concentrating on links to get more traffic for SEO, they concentrate on writing a lot of content on a really specific topic and building their relevance and authority that way. And I really see relevance as being such a huge thing in Google that's only becoming bigger, and you can really use it to your advantage. So I thought this time, instead of concentrating on links so much, I would do what I called a content blitz on like just one little town in Malaysia, and I wrote tons of posts on it just to see if that helped me rank faster than building links. Now, I didn't do much of anything until March this year. So I did start this in October. I put up a little bit of content, but I needed to bring out my new course, like Build Blog Freedom Fast Track and all of that. So it was only March I really did any of this, which is why in May I was like really happy to already get to 20K page views. But what I can say about doing that content blitz is that I really don't think it worked. If I look at my posts across the site, the ones going best are my general ones about Malaysia. And I think if I was to get an average of how posts are performing about this one destination where I wrote about a lot and all the rest on the site, that all the rest on the site on average would be higher. So yeah, I can't say that worked brilliantly for me. Hopefully over time it will. It could just be not long enough, of course. But I don't see it as a way to try and get your rankings up faster. So when I start thinking about how I'm going to get traffic to my site, obviously SEO is where I see a huge amount of traffic from, but I don't want to just stick to SEO long term. Because, like I talked about before, I think if you really want to be the authority, you want a site that you can trust to do really well for you long term, you do need other forms of traffic. But SEO will always be my favorite. And I really wanted to spend as much time as possible concentrating on that, getting a good base before I split my time with something else. So I feel like I'm getting to that point now, and I see Facebook as where I move next. This is one of those things too that I know when I got serious about blogging to start with my family travel blog, and it'd be like, oh, what social media should I have? What should I be doing? And the wise people in the Facebook groups would always be like, one at a time. You just do one, get it working, and then you do another. And I completely ignore them, like I think 90% of bloggers out there, but it really is the smarter way. Okay, get one working well, move on to the next. So yeah, I feel like I've concentrated on SEO quite well for now, and it's time to move on to Facebook. And I want to be able to really be the authority, build a community, and I see that Facebook is a really great way to do that. Let me just see. Sorry, I just want to not miss anything. So go through my notes. So yeah, my initial plan was to create some general content just so I could start that link building. Content blitz one area. So that's where I wrote a lot of posts on one town. I wanted some strong affiliate focused content because I want money. I don't like working for free. And then some more general posts to help when I start my Facebook group. Okay, so some planning ones and the ones that I see being general questions. So I'm still working on all of that. I'm certainly not done. I did content blitz one area and some general content. I'm still trying to get more affiliate focused content on there because I feel like I should definitely be earning more money with that amount of traffic. And I'm still working on some more general posts that I think people ask questions about. But like I said, I'll talk more about that in future lives. Now, I've not put as much emphasis on link building as normal because I wanted to test a ton of quality content in a specific area. But in saying that, I seem to have got lots of links anyway. I really am puzzled whenever people say it's really hard to get links because I don't really put any effort in. And I think I'm nearly at 100 links already. Mostly that's just collabs, and there is some comments in there to be fair too, so they're a bit easier, and some directories and some bookmarking. But and I've just got my first big guest post out on why travel blog got published this week, and there's some more coming. But yeah, if you want links, you can find them. You really just have to get out there and do it. Hi to people saying hi. Hi, Amber, Brent, Kate. So yeah, just do it. I think there's just too much, like people just have blocks in their minds about link building when it doesn't have to be hard. So my monetization strategy. That's my traffic one. Let's talk about monetization. So affiliate marketing and ads for sure. I like that base level of passive income coming in that I can trust on. I'm excited because I obviously won't work on this site for the next month. Going to Peru tomorrow, like I said. So hopefully that grows up a bit, and that would be nice to have that money to come back to and help fuel my fire to keep building this site. But I don't see it just being that. I mean, like I said, I really want to be the authority. I want this to be my exit strategy. I want this site to earn tons of money and be the authority. So products are definitely my next step. I hope by the end of the year to bring out my first digital product, but now I'm going part-time. We'll see, but I'll try my best. I think that one, it helps with earnings, right? Like I'm writing about Malaysia. So the downside of that is I've got a lot of Malaysian audience, which doesn't monetize that well with ads or affiliate marketing, really. A lot of my commissions are really very low. So if I can just get some ebooks in there or something, even if it's just $10 or $20 and selling a reasonable number of those per month, that will really top up my income. But from the authority point of view too, I really can't recommend writing an ebook or something enough. Like I just think about when I wrote it for D&W, I feel like it was the turning point for me on that blog. Suddenly people were just talking about me everywhere. It felt like. That sounds a bit weird to say, but like I would see my name mentioned in Facebook blogging groups and stuff like that. And it just all started happening when I wrote the book. People just saw me differently because I'd written a book. Even though to me, it's like, I know what I knew yesterday. I'm saying the same things I said yesterday. All I'm doing is making you pay for it. And suddenly that made me more of an authority. So I really recommend it from that point of view too. I definitely want to get into things like direct partnerships, so better affiliate relationships, as well as like maybe having a travel agency involved as well. Okay, I really want to think big about this. But that's all new areas to me. So, I'll be more clear on that strategy as I get to it. You don't have to have all the answers from day one. I feel like I can make enough money from affiliate marketing, ads and products for sure to be worth my time. And then those other things are about growth. So that's my overall strategy for the site. Some reasons why starting a new blog might be a good idea, whether you should start one or not. It's really just about being clear on a strategy yourself. This is the time to ask questions really quickly. Put them in if you have one. I'll be happy to answer whatever I can. And I hope that has helped you in some way. It's a lot of me just talking strategy. I hope it wasn't too overwhelming. But next month, I'm going to get more into the nitty gritty. So I'm going to talk about the first few months to get the site up and running, like exactly what I did. And to make sure you don't miss any of these updates, I really recommend you sign up for my email list if you haven't already. You'll get that handy checklist on what you need to do if you decide a new site is for you. And that's at digitalnomadwannabe.com/checklist. So I'm not seeing any questions. Can I be that lucky? And I can see a lot of people watching. So hi, it's great to have you here. I can also see a line across my head on the view I have. I hope you guys aren't seeing that. But I'm not seeing anything. But of course, you can ask questions anytime. The best place to do so is in the DNW Facebook group at dnwcommunity.com. We'll take you there. I think Best Blog Group might take you there too, or blogging group. Anyway, dnwcommunity.com, because when you write stuff on lives, it's great when I'm live, but when I turn off later, it often doesn't show them in order. So it's hard for me to see that there is a question, and I'll do my best to answer them before I jet off to Peru in 21 hours. Okay, bye everyone.